I think I am live. I just want to hear for myself that my voice is working here on this thing. So if anyone can hear me, let me know. Let's see. Excellent connection, it says. Let's see if we get some video on this feed here. Hang on. Yeah, it's working. So we're live. So yeah, what I've been thinking about doing is, just like a couple of live streams, and my dinner is ready. So hang on one second. So what's going on here is I just wanted to do some live streams to talk about books and stuff. And with this one, people can actually join the stream. It's using StreamYard. So if you want to go ahead and join the stream, all you have to do is click the link, and then you can talk to me or do whatever you want and go crazy with it. So, and yes, I do have a camera here. So hopefully people can see me, even though I'm sitting on my bed, which is not made. But anyway, here we are. So I think we're all good. So we can just start the stream here. Basically, just a couple things I wanted to talk about. Of course, my website here. It's going to post the link to this in the chat. This is the link here. That link I just posted in the chat is a link to melodiumhouse.com. The text exchange pages on my website. Essentially what that is a place where I just post updates of like a Facebook feed without having a Facebook feed, kind of. I'm curious about the quality of this camera, but anyway, let's see. I feel like I want to do sort of a longer live stream. The thing is, how do you get viewership without actually, without actually doing like paid advertisements? That's the thing I'm struggling with especially books, is just like getting the word out there. Okay, so I think we should start the day off with a poem. So let me see if I can find this one I was looking for. It's by Emily Dickinson. Just trying to see if I can find it on a website. I do have it here. Let's see, Study Moose. Oh, there it should. This should work. Hang on. So people can click on this. This is just something I want to read. So this poem is, I think it's 540 from the collection of Emily Dickinson's poems. And it's called I Took My Power in My Hand. Of course, since Emily Dickinson didn't publish any of the work herself, largely speaking, the poems, for the most part, are titled after the first line on all of her poems. Whatever the first line is whatever the poem was named. So this one is called I Took My Power in My Hand. I took my power in my hand and went against the world. 'Twas not so much as David had, but I was twice as bold. I ain't my pebble, but myself was all the one that fell. Was it Goliath was too large, or was myself too small? So what I think about when I read this poem is I really do think about like the power she has in her hand is actually her pen, or in other words, the power of expression or writing would be the is my stream crashing? Hang on. Oh, that tab was unresponsive. But anyway, so yeah, it's she makes that biblical comparison of how when someone else can fail, of course, at taking down the giants with a pebble. She just uses the power in her hand, which I interpret as her writing, to take on the giant, and suffers kind of the same fate, of course. But as history will tell, that even though she, during her life, felt like she was really unheard. Really wasn't the case, because in the end of it all, she's pretty much one of the only major figures in literature, American literature, that people talk about, especially um, in the relatively modern space of things. She's, over time, as time went on, of course, she became kind of like a classic poet, and even down to today, like a lot of people have misconceptions about her writing, etc. But um, and even like the first public poems of her that were published were really poems that were edited to the extent to kind of be against the message that she was trying to portray in some of the poems. So that's something interesting to keep in mind. But anyway, so yeah, I do have the text exchanges page on my website. The most recent thing I posted there is about the book signing I'm doing in Stafford County, Virginia, on August 5th. That's at 6:30 p.m. Since it's like a library setting, and like there's going to be a bunch of other people with tables set up selling their books, it's like you can't really do scheduled poetry reading at that time. I'm contemplating doing a reading for that kind of event, but I'm not sure if it's something I want to do. But like the last event I did was at a kind of like a get together, like fall festival in the neighborhood my parents live in, and that was really successful, I would say. Sold a lot of books at that event. But anyway, so let's see, how does this work? Oh yeah, so I'm just looking at the I'm on, what's it called, StreamYard website, and you can of course invite guests to the stream and things like that. So I'm looking at the format of how to format the screen here. You can have one guest on one screen, the other guest on the other screen. It's interesting. Okay, so for the job that I work as a customer service representative. So I definitely do a lot of talking all day, but really it's mostly following like a strict script. But I feel like with these kind of live streams, it's a good way to get practice out of getting my voice and thoughts out. Like if you do it daily and have the recording saved, or lots of people listening to it, it's kind of like sort of like a diary in a sense. Like, but anyway, something I've been doing recently with these books is I've been dividing them into chapter and verse. For example, been writing the verse numbers next to the verses, just so I can have that in my head. And I feel like memorizing my own poems is a good way to get a head start with expressing or performing the poems themselves. It's a better way to promote the art, like if you at least have some of them memorized. Okay, but anyway, where are we? Yeah, I feel like I feel like something about YouTube has changed, because when I used to do live streams, I used to get consistent views on YouTube. For some reason now, that hasn't been the case recently. There are some services that let you multi-stream onto different platforms, like YouTube, like Facebook, Twitter, etc., Twitch at the same time. But like part of me feels like I want to do unique streams for each platform. I know it's much work. It's a lot of work. Instead of doing one stream at the same time on every platform, it's like you can do a different kind of performance every time. It's sort of like a tour where you can go to one place and then go to the other place and keep going to different places each time. But anyway, let's see. That's just me rambling. How do I share my screen with this? Let's see. Yeah, I just wanted to share something on my screen. Hang on. Is that even going to work? Just let me test this. No, I don't want to share my screen. It's a little bit too complicated. It's going to cause problems. But anyway. Looks like we've had 3 viewers so far. Definitely a good start. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, this is this book is Harmony. I believe it's my 8th poetry book or something like that. The only book I submitted to a contest, well, except for The Revenant, submitted them at the same time. This one actually was a finalist for Metal Provocateur Award, for the Eric Hoffer Award. So I was very sad that it didn't get first place in that award, which is why when the I would say when the next, it's time to write the next book, which is not the very next book, the book after the next one, American Born, Psalms of the Silent Nation, which is the 4th book in the series. I actually mentioned the guy that a line from the book that beat me in that in the actual poems, and like reference it. It's just like kind of like a stab at the other person. Jealousy. Oh my gosh. But anyway, let's see. Yep. So yeah, I kind of want to do like a tour of my books, and either if not just give away the books, just like sell them at least, and have like a multi-stop tour event where I can actually promote the things. And thing is, I feel like at this point I'm a little bit stagnant with gaining followers, and it's kind of, sucky. But let's see, what was I going to look at? 4 viewers, nice. Well, hang on, I'm still just looking through my tabs here. Okay. So I think I should find a poem to read. This one is from There's a Serenity in the Dark, which is book number 12, I believe. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one because it quotes from one of Emily Dickinson's trademark poems. Hang on. Not trademark, but like a poem that she's really known for. All right, this is from There's a Serenity in the Dark from part 3, and this is article number 14. You'll notice the Emily Dickinson line right away. I felt a funeral in my brain. Somewhere there I too watched. As the coffin was carried away, those who mourned only could stand and watch. They did not know where to go, lonely, forsaken now, homeless and abandoned. I felt what was lacking in my soul. As we stood and watched, they took what was lost so far away from here. We welcomed the future without you. We greeted it in the cold. We found old age long before our time. We left the world believing that the next one would be better. We chased our dreams knowing we could only feign happiness. And that's kind of like a poem that takes inspiration from another poet. And let's see if I can pull up the original. Hang on. It's probably a little bit shorter. Okay. This is Poetry Foundation. Let's pull this up. Hang on. Got to post this in the chat as well. I felt a funeral in my brain, and mourners to and fro kept treading till it seemed that sense was breaking through. And when they all were seated, a service like a drum kept beating till I thought my mind was going numb. And then I heard them lift a box and creak across my soul. With those same boots of lead again, that space began to toll. As all the heaven were a bell, and being but an ear, and I in silence some strange race, wrecked solitary here. And then a plank in reason broke, and I dropped down, and hit a world at every plunge, and finished knowing then. The line that really sticks out to me the most here is that she hit a world at every plunge. That's kind of like the most interesting line to me in the